Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm going to quickly tag everybody, let them know that we are live on Mobile Home Mondays. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. So let me just go ahead and tag everybody really quick. And then let's jump into tonight's live. It's going to be super, super exciting. Let me just tag everybody real quick. Add everyone. Boom. All right. So, welcome to Mobile Home Mondays, guys. I am Jasmine Gittens. I'm your host here every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to come bring you guys information about wholesaling or investing in mobile homes that you can actually take and implement into your business right away. So, the goal is really to help you guys get started and grow your business in mobile homes. So tonight I want to share with you guys. Hello, Angela. She said New York is in the building. I love to hear that. I wanted to share with you guys exactly what I needed to get started with mobile homes. Okay. Make sure as you guys are coming in, let me know where you're coming in from. Post, say hi, all that good stuff. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to comment and I will answer them at the end once I get to that part. Okay, once I get to our Q&As. So I want to start with what I didn't need, right? So I'm gonna end with what I did need, but I want to just start with what I did not need in order to get started wholesaling mobile homes. One, I did not need any money, right? Particularly for purchasing the mobile homes. Okay, I did not need any money to purchase the mobile homes because we're not purchasing the mobile homes, right? We are getting them under contract to purchase and then selling that contract to the end buyer, right? So we're not actually purchasing the mobile homes. We are like acting as middlemen, right? Or middle woman, right? So that's one. Didn't need any money, did not need any credit, right? Because again, we're not purchasing the property. We don't need to get approved. We don't need any funding, any financing, anything like that, right? So I didn't need any money, did not need any credit. I did not need an LLC. I did have an LLC, right? I had an LLC already established, but I did not need one. That was not a requirement for me to get started. Okay. So oftentimes I get this question a lot, like, do I need an LLC? And yes, you absolutely, as a business owner, business operator, you want to have an LLC. You want to be operating properly, right? But here's the caveat. A lot of people, you kind of put a lot of roadblocks in front of yourself before actually getting started. So you almost use it as like an excuse not to get started. So I always say, if that's something that's going to hinder you from getting started, if it's going to take you longer than 24 hours to get your LLC, right? Then just go straight into the activities to try to get a deal, right? And when you close on your first deal and you're like, okay, I got this done, you have proof of concept, you know this thing is the real deal, and now you're ready to steamroll this and like go all in, then you can get an LLC. Okay. For some people, it's finances, and you're like, I don't have any money to even, pay the $125 or so to set up the LLC. And then again, you can close on your first deal, make some profit, right? And use the money from that profit to establish your business, to establish your LLC. So you can operate as an individual, right? You can just be putting properties under contract under your individual name. And then, again, once you get the first one closed, get an LLC. I don't recommend going beyond, the first deal because, I just don't. At that point, it's like establish a business, establish that this is the thing that you're going to do and go all in with it, right? So Angela said she's going through that right now. She's going through that right now. So Angela, so if you don't have an LLC, girl, go out there, start, find a deal, wholesale one of these mobile homes. And then once you are done, once you've completed one, then you can get an LLC. Okay. Again, don't use it as a hindrance or anything to get started. Just get started. Okay. So again, no money, no credit, did not need an LLC. Okay. I did not need a website, right? Some people say, well, do I need a website? Like, what are they going to ask me? You don't need a website to get started. Okay. You do not need a website to get started. Again, you can be acting as an individual, operating as yourself, operating as an individual. I'm just an individual. We're a small business. We don't have a website. right? Just be honest. Again, once you close your first couple deals, now you can use that money from those transactions to invest in a website, right? To either create it yourself or to have someone else create it, or to get like a pre-designed websites like Carrot website, right? At that point, you can invest in that and feel comfortable with that monthly investment or however much it may cost for you to create a website and to have a website, right? So, but it's not a requirement again for you to get started. Okay. Remember, we're talking about getting started. Okay. So not a requirement for you to get started, guys. All right. No money, no credit, no LLC, no website. Okay. What else did I not need? Okay. I did not need yeah, credit, none of that, right? And the last thing is no experience, really, right? Because now I had experience, okay, because I came from wholesaling houses. I wholesaled houses for 5 years before wholesaling mobile homes, right? So I had the experience of closing on a wholesale, understanding just the model of wholesaling, right? It was different because it was mobile homes, it was a different asset class, there's different nuances, right? So I did have to learn all of those things, but you don't need experience when starting to wholesale. Why? Because you're not actually purchasing the property again. Like worst case scenario for you as a whole, as the investor who is choosing to wholesale as your primary exit strategy, especially if you're starting, the worst case scenario is that you cancel the contract, right? And you don't get the deal closed. Okay. But you're not putting your money in, you're not purchasing the property. So let's just say, you're not paying too much for the property and you didn't know, or you're not purchasing a property and then having troubles with reselling it. If people were starting with flipping, I absolutely recommend you have some experience or some type of knowledge ahead of time, because now you're actually investing your money into this property, right? You're looking forward to a return and you're expecting a return. And if you don't have the proper knowledge and experience, then you can really get messed up. You can lose all of your money, right? Or not get what you were expecting back, or it can take way, way longer than you were expecting. And oftentimes that's what happens. I've seen happen the most to people who are brand new and they just jump out the gate without any prior knowledge if they're trying to start with flipping, is that the project and their return on their investment takes way longer than they were expecting because they run into so many unexpected roadblocks or situations that they didn't know because they didn't know how to properly do an inspection or properly do a due diligence, right? They may hire people who they didn't do the proper screening, right? If you get like a contractor or a handyman and this person is taking advantage of you, taking your money, holding you up, stretching the project. It was supposed to be 6 weeks and now it ends up being 6 months later, right? So things like that. But from a wholesaling perspective, you don't need that because you're not purchasing the property. You're not putting your money in. Of course, we want to make sure that we're doing the best business that we can, right? So that does not mean that you just go out there and you're just offering, whatever. The idea is to be and get as much education as you can and as much understanding as you can, so that you are making as close to an accurate offer as possible, so that you can actually resell the property or sell your contract to an end buyer, right? To make your to get the deal done, right? But ultimately, again, the worst case scenario for us for just wholesaling is that we're gonna cancel the contract and go on to the next one. Okay, so no experience, no money, no credit, no LLC, no website. None of those things were needed to get started. Okay. Now, what did I need? What did I actually need? Jasmine, what did you actually need to get started wholesaling? Okay. What I needed was I needed a couple $100 to get my bandit signs. Okay. Because I did start wholesaling utilizing bandit signs. Okay, so I needed a couple $100 to buy 100 bandit signs. Okay. I also needed a Facebook account. Okay. Because I was sending messages through Facebook Marketplace, right? And I also was utilizing that as a way to post my deals when I got them to sell them. So I needed a couple $100 for bandit signs. I needed a Facebook account, okay, an active Facebook account, and I needed internet, internet in order to access my Facebook, okay, and a phone. I needed a phone so people could call me, and we can discuss, make some offers, right? Talk about their property, all that good stuff, okay? And a vehicle. A vehicle. I do want to mention that a vehicle is essential, right? Especially if you're starting locally. Okay, we started wholesaling virtually, but we traveled. My husband still traveled to North Carolina. Okay, so we were in Maryland when we first started. We're wholesaling in North Carolina, but we still need a vehicle. My husband drove to North Carolina multiple times to see properties, to meet with sellers, to and ultimately, but at first it really was to meet with our sign placer, right? We met with a sign placer to give him some signs for him to start putting those signs out for us. Okay, my husband, we stayed there for a weekend. We put signs out ourselves. We met the sign placer, gave him the signs, and then he did it for the rest of the couple weeks, right? So those were the things that I did need in order to get started. Okay. Again, a couple $100 for marketing. Okay. So not to actually purchase the property, but for the marketing. Now, I want to mention to you guys that now that we have all this experience and we've been in the game, and we have really figured out the different marketing strategies, the best marketing strategies, I can confidently tell you that you don't need any money to get started. You can actually start with $0. We started with bandit signs. We spent a couple $100, but if you were to start today, you don't have to have money. Okay, absolutely $0, and you can absolutely get a deals. Okay. But having a couple $100 does not hurt, especially if you want to utilize the bandit signs as a marketing strategy. Okay, so bandit signs, a phone, a Facebook account, and a vehicle. Okay, so those were important essentials for us to have. Again, we did not have a website. We did have an LLC, but it wasn't required. We didn't need money to purchase the properties. We didn't need any credit to be, approved. We didn't need any experience. We did have it, but it wasn't a requirement for us to get started. We just got started, y'all. We got started. We were posting in, various Facebook groups, trying to get some information on like what we can, price things at and things like that. And following other people, seeing what they were posting their deals for. Of course, now we have like a whole formula. So if you are interested in getting our formula and understanding exactly what strategies we're using to find deals consistently, like how we're doing due diligence and the whole nine, coming up with pricing and all of that, you guys can go to www.mobilehomemoney.com and get the ebook and masterclass bundle. But yes, that's what we needed, y'all. So I wanted to come here and share that with you guys so that you kind of have an idea of what you may need when you are looking to get started investing or wholesaling mobile homes. Okay. So Angela said New York is in the building. Hey, Angela, girl. She says, I have been over analyzing. Oh, man, this is the big one. You're not by yourself. There's so many people who are over analyzing, and, they get the analysis paralysis to where you're thinking so much that you end up freezing and not taking any action. And I want to encourage you to just take some action, right? Even if it's a little bit, like you're taking little incremental steps, at least you are getting the ball rolling. You're making some progress. But I encourage you to just go all in because, like I said again, the worst case scenario, like we have to think about like, what's the worst case scenario here? Because sometimes we just come up with all of these like different things, and it's like, what is absolutely the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is that I'm unable. I get a property under contract. I'm unable to sell it. I cancel the contract. That's it. I move on. Like that's literally it. Okay. This is it's not desired. We don't want to. We want to close every single deal, but every single deal, the best of us, the best of the best of the best don't close 100% of the deals. Okay. You can have 100 deals and for some reason or another, maybe a seller changes their mind or something happens, right? And you don't get it done. So don't worry about that. Even the best, right? Even Jordan missed shots. Okay. So I encourage you to get started ASAP. Did you need money for boots on the ground? So yeah, you do need to, if you're gonna have boots on the ground to be putting out like signs for you in particular, you do want to have money for that. In terms of having like boots on the ground to like go take pictures for you or do showings for you or anything like that, yes, you also want to have some money set aside for that. So you might want to have like 40, $50 if you're paying somebody to like go out and take some pictures for you or to go out and show a property for you, right? Then you do want to have some money for that as well as having it for a sign placer. Okay, so great question. um we have another question here from Buy Houses. Love it. How effective is finding buyers using bandit signs? So this is the thing. Honestly, it's pretty effective. I think the important thing about the bandit signs when it comes to finding buyers is just as well as finding sellers is placement of your bandit signs. The placement of your bandit signs to me is really, really, really critical in attracting, sellers and buyers. So if you have, some signs that are specific to trying to find buyers, right? Maybe you have like a 2 bedroom, 2 bath mobile home for sale, like call this number, right? So you want to place it, in strategic places like by the mobile home parks in particular. If it's in a park, but even if it's not, find some local mobile home parks and put it there, right? There is a large, and there's a large Hispanic community that purchases mobile homes, right? So you might want to put it near like a Hispanic, shopping, a Hispanic like supermarket, right? If they have like a grocery store, right, you can put it there. A regular or a more traditional American grocery store. Okay, I hope I'm not saying anything offensive. I'm not meaning to be offensive in any way. But just a grocery store. So putting it places where your target audience is going to be and will potentially see your signs. Okay, so that is that, ladies and gentlemen. But it works really well. Even honestly, just putting out your bandit signs that you're looking for deals, like we buy mobile homes, call us here, right? Even just putting those signs out will get buyers to call you. We actually just had a buyer today call us from a bandit sign. So it happens all the time. It happens often. Happens often. Okay. Um Are there times where the end buyer will go around the wholesaler to speak directly to the seller? Really, no. I mean, I don't want to say no, like 100% no, but I want to say, generally speaking, if you've built a relationship with the seller and you've shared with the seller what you're doing and, you're being transparent and you establish um, um, rules of engagement with the buyer, right? Then this typically doesn't happen. One thing I will say as a tip to help with this and to avoid this from happening is when you're showing properties, oh no, what happened to my camera? If you, I don't know what happened, y'all. So I won't take much longer. But if you Have a showing, and you schedule the showing for, like, let's just say you schedule the showing for 12 o'clock. Then I advise you get in there like at least 20 minutes early, because what sometimes these buyers, they'll come to the showing early because they want to be the first person there, right? The whole like goal is for them to kind of like beat out the other buyers. But what happens is, if they're 30 minutes early, I would even say 30 minutes early, honestly. But if they're 20 minutes early and you're just arriving, right? And them and the seller are already sitting there kicking it, they've been talking. Now they know, right? Now there's like there's a little bit of like, they've had a conversation. You didn't get an opportunity to establish the rules of engagement with the buyers, right? So when we have our buyers come to the showings, before we go into the property, we huddle all the buyers. Hey, buyers, thank you guys so much for coming. We're going to go in, we're going to take a look. Just so you know, there's no communicating with the sellers outside of, greeting them, hello, goodbye, no exchanging information. If you have any questions about the property, or if you're interested and you want to make an offer, please discuss that with me once we've exited the property. But feel free to go in, look around, take pictures, do anything, right? So I've set the tone, and I've set the rules of engagement with the buyers before we're heading in there. Okay, so I hope that helps you, Angela. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what happened to my camera, but I got another question in, so I want to answer it. If y'all have some questions while I'm here live, feel free to post it. And if you're here on the replay, you can still post it and I'll answer it later. Have you ever had a problem with going to or doing business with communities that don't have many Black people? Wow, this is a really, really good question, because I was gonna make a video on this and I was like, I don't know if I should or not, because it is something that is talked about like behind the scenes. Like, a lot of people don't talk about it like on screen and stuff, but it's a conversation like behind the screens, right? Um, in particular. But no. To answer your question, no. Okay. I strongly believe the way that you present yourself and the way that you communicate um is going to dictate how people are going to communicate and handle you, right? Generally speaking. Of course, there's always an outlier. So, this is not like 100% hit, but 90% of the time, when we're dealing with parks, property owners, especially these mobile home, if it's on land, on somebody's private land, if it's a private seller and not in a park, these are, from our experience, and has traditionally been white Americans, right? And especially, I'm in the South, I'm from New York, right? So there's a different culture here. But with all of that being said, I've had many people, again, behind the scenes, asking like, how do you feel, driving up to these places? You're in the South. I mean, these people, you just have all these preconceived notions of like what, how somebody's going to treat you, or what they're going to expect, or how they're going to think of you because this, that, and the third. No, not at all. And let me tell you, I mean, my husband is a 6 foot Black man with long locks, right? And he gets so much love. I mean, literally, both of us get so much love because we approach every single person with respect. We're kind. We're not like timid or anything like that. We're confident. We know what we're talking about. And yeah, and we get great response. I mean, people are so kind and so sweet. Generally speaking, I mean, of course, you just have some people who are just, whatever, but generally speaking, no, we don't have any problems with doing business being Black. So yeah, and that's a great question, because again, that's something that a lot of people have shared their concern about. Like, I'm scared to, drive up on these people's property, or I'm scared to, whatever, go on these trailers and XYZ. But honestly, no, we haven't had any issues. We had maybe one lady who was a little funny, but no, that's it. So hope that answered your question. Angela has good information. You're welcome, hun. You are so welcome. Can you provide your website again for your ebook? Oh, yeah, sure. So it's www.mobilehomemoney.com, mobilehomemoney.com. Yeah, so you guys can go there. And if you would like to get the ebook along with the replay of the masterclass, you can get that there. Okay. I'll show that since you guys can't see me anyways. I can go ahead and just share my screen with y'all. So yeah, that's it, guys. That is it. That is it. That is it. So yeah. So I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's session. If you have any questions or anything like that, of course, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the wherever. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Mobile Home Mondays. I appreciate it. And we'll be back. We'll be back next week on next Monday for another phenomenal session of Mobile Home Mondays. All right, guys. Talk to you all soon. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.